Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Well, hello and welcome into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood. Unfortunately, the Buccos looking like they're losing this one, Game 2 against the Brewers. You know, it's been so exciting having Nicky G back. He had went 5 for 5 at the plate last night, and then tonight has a 3-run home run. But unfortunately, you know, he's the only bat right now that's hot, and no one else can really muster up some hits. So unfortunately, it looks like the Pirates are going to drop Game 2. The 2-game win streak ends tonight. I'm joined alongside Jeff Hathhorn. Hello, Jeff. This is our first time doing this together.
Sorry, I'm clearing some tears. I was so hopeful that the Pirates are going to continue this double-digit hitting streak hit streak that they were on. Sadly, second inning, bases loaded, nobody out, and they don't score. And you just had a feeling right there against Freddie Peralta when you don't at least get a run in that scenario that it was going to be a long night. You're right. Nick Gonzalez cut the lead, gets the 3-run homer. Okay, you have a little bit of hope. And then, just a very sloppy bottom of the 8th and a 9th inning where O'Neill Cruz was benched.
Yeah, that's shocking. See, I was just doing sports, so I didn't know that about the end there. But also not very shocking with how O'Neill's been playing, Jeff. I mean, to be quite honest with you, there's been a couple emotional situations with him lately out there in the outfield. He hasn't, had the any great outcomes really at the plate. So, I mean, is it really shocking to you that this happened?
I guess I'm surprised that they finally just did it in game and that it wasn't something done to the side or done after the game like it happened on Friday. Listen, I get he's frustrated. I do. I get it. I mean, who wouldn't be frustrated when you've had one day this month where you've had multiple hits in a game and you've had 11 days this month where you've had multiple strikeouts in a game? I mean, he's been a disaster this month, and I'm sure it's frustrating, but you still got to hustle. That's the thing you can control. And I'm glad Donnie Kelly benched him, and I hope he doesn't play tomorrow. I don't care if it costs Paul Skeens a win or not. I mean, it's about setting a foundation. He let Cruz skid on what happened on that Friday, put him in the lineup Saturday. I think it's time for him to sit until at least Friday, if not longer.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, too, on Friday, he said, he had the missed catch in the outfield, but he was very impressed that Cruz was able to kind of battle back down the stretch. But then, I mean, he collided with Canario. There just feels like there's not very good communication out there. I mean, it just kind of feels like it's been in a downward spiral this month and obviously came to a head tonight. So it will be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow with Cruz, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and Cassidy, I get it. I mean, this is, again, I understand the frustration. I understand there are different rules for star athletes or star employees than there are for others. I get that. But, I mean, there are certain things that you have to maintain doing. And it's not just him. I mean, there are times other guys don't hustle. But it's on Cruz right now because it's happened so many times and so many eyes are on him. I think an example needs to be made of him. Not to sit him for a week or a month, but I think at least for a game, if not more.
Well, and it's scary, too, because here we are about halfway through the season, and I mean, he's on a 1-year deal. So there's talks right now, do they extend him and do they not? And I mean, halfway through the season, you're getting benched in the middle of a game. I mean, that's not going to be a positive thing when you're trying to argue an extension.
And the bad thing is, and they still have a couple of years of control, but I understand your point. I mean, listen, you don't have any power in your organization. He's your young power hitter. So you're kind of caught if you're the Pirates. He's not an expendable commodity based on the fact that you don't have anybody else like him. Maybe Connor Griffin, but he's only at high A. So you need to have a little bit of different mindset with him because of his importance potentially to you having a winning team. But you can't just let him loaf down the line after he's frustrated, hit a ground ball right at the shortstop.
Yeah, and I mean, how would you assess how Andrew Heaney did tonight? I feel like, unfortunately, in these last 2 starts he's had, he's really not been the Andrew Heaney that people have kind of expected. I mean, he gave up 8 hits and 7 earned runs in his last game tonight. Not the best. I mean, do you think he's also kind of in a little bit of maybe a downward spiral?
Yeah, it kind of stinks because you want his trade value to be higher because he's someone you absolutely would trade at the deadline. I look at Milwaukee as this way. You know, when right before the 3-run homer, Heaney has a 2-out walk. And what does Milwaukee do? Unlike the Pirates with the bases loaded and nobody out, they get the gift of a 2-out walk, then they get a home run the very next batter. I mean, they take advantage of their opportunities, and that's what winning teams do. And sadly, the Pirates are the only team in the NL Central that doesn't have a winning record. And it's little things like that of what separates winning teams from the Pirates. And we have seen it more under Don Kelly. Want to be fair to Don. I mean, we have seen better fundamentals and things, plays that you see from winning teams, but they just don't have a winning roster.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard to win games with the roster that they've put together this year. All right, guys, we're going to head to our first break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We want to hear from you guys. We have some Aaron Rodgers to talk about, too, of course. So we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. This is our Expinity tweet of the night from Pat McAfee. I'm pretty sure this is my last season, and that's why we did the 1-year deal. I've played 20 years, and I've enjoyed it. There's no better way to finish it than with Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quote Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee today, essentially announcing that this year could be his last. And you know, I think a lot of Steelers fans, Jeff, were kind of able to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief because I do think it was kind of polarizing, right? When he was initially, when it first came out that he was potentially going to come here, even then, a lot of people were very back and forth on whether they wanted this here. They thought it might cause a lot of drama. And, you know, we just went through a little bit of drama last year. Do we really want to go through this again? And I think it is kind of promising that, okay, now we get to see kind of behind the curtain what his mindset is going into this upcoming season. And it seems like it should be, hopefully, a pretty okay season.
You know, don't you get the feeling, Cassidy, that every time he talks, fans more and more buy into what he's saying? Like there's more momentum, more support. Like, I think he's helped himself with the times he's talked. When he was here and he was rattling off, you know, Pittsburgh guys that he worked with, and he was making, you know, he was saying the right things. And then today on McAfee, I mean, not just the fact that he said this is pretty much it, that it's going to be his last season, but the things he was saying about Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh and how Cam Hayward was the OG and he wants to help Will Howard be as, you know, great as he wants to be, that he'll be there for him and teach him whatever he wants to learn. Like stuff like that, people love to hear. And you know, he seems very sincere that he's in a good place in his life, that he wants, you know, he knows this is it. He wants to have fun. He wants to give it his all. He wants one more shot, and he wanted to do it with what he called a cornerstone franchise in the NFL. I mean, I think he has done nothing but help himself every time he's talked. Now, we'll see what his abilities are, but what we're hearing from him, I think, has won over a ton of fans from just calls we get here at the Fan.
Yeah, and guys, this is our question of the night. Just go ahead, scan your phone up there, tap that QR code. How will the Steelers get their next franchise quarterback in the draft and free agency, or is he already on the roster? Are we already seeing him? I know a lot of fans out there are very, very excited about one Sir Will Howard. Now, I must remind you, 6th-round pick, like let's pump the brakes a little bit, but I do think having Aaron Rodgers here will definitely help him. I mean, it's not going to hurt him. Having a future Hall of Famer in that group that you can learn from is only going to benefit you, really. So I do think that's going to be beneficial. And now that we know that he's kind of coming in here with the mentality of peace, love, and fun, I think it might, you know, it might benefit Will Howard.
Peace, love, and a little fun. Sounds like a donut place, you know. Listen, I think it only benefits Will. Not just there. Mason Rudolph has proven to be a really good teammate and a guy willing to share and be open and understand the situation and not hold it against anybody and come to work. He's already worked, Will Howard, with Skylar Thompson. They were teammates at Kansas State. So for Will, I can't think of a easier situation to walk into. There's no pressure of playing. He can learn from all of these people, and you know I guarantee what's going to happen. He's going to get into one of these preseason games and play great, and everyone's going to get excited, and then you won't see him again for the year. But everybody will point back to those games. Oh, Will Howard, Will Howard, Will Howard. That is what's going to. I mean, it sets up to be a really good scenario. And remember with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's played 17 years. He's been a starter in the league, but he's been in the league 20. For 3 years, he sat and watched. So he understands that situation too. We'll see what happens when games start, when the first loss or 2 losses in a row happens, when the first receiver runs a wrong route and Rodgers throws a pick. Like, all these things will really see the mettle of Aaron and how the teammates respond to him. But I do like what I'm saying. I love the fact that he said, I don't just come in as the leader. I have to earn my stripes. I have to prove that I'm going to be the offensive leader. It's the right thing to say, and if he does indeed believe that, it's the right attitude to have.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, actions obviously speak louder than words, so we'll see if he can kind of follow that up once training camp comes. But, I mean, you're right. He sat for 3 years. Honestly, if you look at most of the greats, they've done that, right? Pat Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year. Maybe it was even 2 before he even entered a game. And so, these guys do need a year. Now, Mason.
Tom Brady.
Tom too, yeah. And so, with Mason Rudolph, I will say I was one of the big proponents at the start of the offseason when he initially came back here to Pittsburgh. I was like, please, can we just give the reins to Mason? I want to see what he can actually do. I feel like he's just kind of had the rug pulled out from under him constantly, and then it kind of got yanked again with this Aaron Rodgers stuff. But I do think that, here's the deal. I don't see a world where Aaron Rodgers is going to actually be able to play and start 17 games this fall. I mean, that's a lot. So I do believe that we'll see Mason Rudolph hopefully get in there here and there. But I was a huge proponent of him being the starting quarterback this fall, honestly. And so, we'll see how this fall pans out. I do think, like I said, I think it's just very reassuring that Aaron Rodgers is coming in with this mindset, and we'll have to see what happens.
And Cassidy, I mean, listen, I was for Justin Fields. I thought they should have signed Fields to a contract.
Ideally, but they dropped the ball.
No matter what no matter what the Jets were offering, they should have matched it. I mean, the guy's 26. Let's see what he could do. Maybe he is your future franchise quarterback. And then after that, I was kind of content with Mason. But when you saw what the deal was with Rodgers, that it was only $13 million. That it was only 1 year, so you're not tied up longer than that it didn't hit your cap, that there were no crazy bonuses, that he seems to have the right attitude. Maybe, like I was saying, the fans, or maybe I'm starting to believe in this scenario too. I think it doesn't hurt them because it's only a 1 year deal. If it would be a 2 or 3 year deal, I think it would be more of a question mark, because then when are you ever going to build a quarterback? But for 1 year, you could draft a quarterback. You have extra picks that you might be able to use to move up in the first round to get a higher choice depending on where the season falls. And you know what? If the season collapses, who cares? It gives you a better opportunity to find that next quarterback. Yeah,
and draft right here in your own city. I mean, that would be really cool. My question to you, too, Jeff, is obviously this wide receiver room is kind of still a bit of a question mark. I mean, do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to end up bringing someone out here, Allen Lazard, someone like that?
I still think there's a move to be made, whether that's a Gabe Davis who's already been in and visited, or another one of the free agents that's available, whether it's somebody cut during training camp during the final roster moves, like a Joe Hayden move of years ago, where you bring in somebody at the last minute, or if it's just a straight out trade that's made for someone like an Allen Lazard or whomever it might be. I do think there's another move. I mean, I like Calvin Austin. He's in a contract year. This is a big year for him. I think he showed some mettle. I think Pat Freiermuth can be a lot more of a weapon. And I like Robert Woods, but not as a 2, maybe as a 4. I love the mentality. Roman Wilson just hasn't proven anything. I mean, I know he had a great year, his final year at Michigan, but he couldn't even get on the field last year due to injury and also not knowing the playbook. So if you're going to bring in Aaron Rodgers, I think you need to give him another receiver.
Yeah, I mean, DK is only going to be able to do so much, although Aaron Rodgers did say DK was a part of the reason he did want to come here as well. So, you know, I mean, obviously there's some chemistry there, so that's nice.
Hey.
What's up?
And he does love Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Like he can't talk enough about Darnell Washington, and he does look quicker out there. We've both seen it. I mean, maybe he'll be more of a threat in the passing game with a guy like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, they need it. And hey, if you just throw that ball up, Darnell's getting it. I mean, he's taller than every man on that field. So that's a solid game plan in my book. But all right, guys, we're going to head to our last break. Give us a call, though, 412-575-2600. You can also go to KDKA.com/connect if you want to vote on that live poll. Just a couple more minutes, and we'll tell you what the results are after this. Welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're going to check in now with the news desk and see what they have coming up at 11. Hey, Ken.
Hey, Cass, 2 people arrested after a raid on a local vape shop. It's a story you'll see only on KDKA tonight. Plus, how much a man stole from Allegheny County's police union and where the money went. And Kristen Emery's tracking the return of storms, all ahead right here at 11.
Great. Thank you, Ken. Well, guys, we've been talking some Aaron Rodgers, but another exciting thing happened today. DeShawn Elliott solidifies his deal. This has been a deal that has been announced for a while now, but it's officially official as of today. A pretty big deal. And Jeff, I don't know if you saw DeShawn Elliott when he was a kid. He was in a Steelers uniform and he posted that photo. I thought it was so cute. It was like a meant to be type of situation. You really don't see that, but obviously he does love it here. He's happy here. He signed that deal. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are on the deal and whether this does affect TJ and what's going on with him.
Yeah, I don't think it affects TJ, and I think this is something they kind of had pretty much in the works to get it done at this time of year when so many people are on vacation. But I've rarely seen a guy come in and seem to fit into the Steeler mold as well as DeShawn Elliott. He loves it. I mean, he genuinely loves the way they play, playing with Minka, all the things that are happening with the Steelers defense to be a part of this organization. I think that's what's cool to see is that enthusiasm, and the guy can play the game. And, you know, they've locked up one of their safeties. Minka will be the next. That's a story for another year. But those two are able to work together, and that's the big thing right now.
Yeah, most definitely. And we'll see what happens with TJ as the weeks continue with training camp almost exactly just 1 month away, guys. I can't believe it's around the corner like that. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining me tonight. Thank you guys for joining us here in the Fan Cave. We'll see you next time, same place, same time.